Welcome to ABC Math. Before we get deeper into solving problems in algebra, we have few things we need to make sure that everyone understands and few concepts. Suppose that I said I'm having a cup of tea. I'm having tea. I didn't specify a number. You would understand that I'm having one cup of tea without specifying a number when I say I'm having tea. But if I specified a number, if I'm having more than one cup of tea, suppose that I'm having 2 cups of tea, I would say I'm having 2 cups of tea. So if I didn't specify a number, the first number comes to your mind is 1. But if it's more than 1 or it's not 1, I had to specify the number. So the same thing happens in algebra. Whenever I say x, that means I am having 1x, but I don't specify the number. I don't say 1x. Whenever I say x, that means I'm having 1x. Whenever I say x, right? If I'm having 2 x's, I'm having x and I'm having another x. If I add them together, we know, as we said, this one is 1x, and here we're having 1x, 1x plus 1x, or x plus x, that means equals 2x. Usually we don't say 2x's, we just say 2x, 2 multiplied by x. If I'm having another x in my problem, I'm having 1 plus 1 plus 1, that means 3x. Right. If I have 3x plus 4x, I just add the numbers. 3 plus 4, which is 7, multiplied by x, 7x. And if I'm having here 3x plus 4x plus x, that means 3 plus 4 plus 1. Even if I didn't write it, we know that we have 1 here, which is not written. So 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 1 is 8. In that case, the answer would be 8x. This is different from multiplying. If I multiplied x times x, I was going to say 3x. Anyway, if I have x times x, we know that x is to the power 1. Even we don't specify it. If I say 2, we know obviously 2 is to the power 1. We don't usually write the power when the power is 1. So x, if I didn't specify the power, we know it's to the power 1. Times x to the power 1, we write x and we add the power. So 1 plus 1 is 2. If we have x squared times x cubed, we say x, and we add the power. 2 plus 3 is 5. And if you don't remember that, x squared equals x times x, and x cubed equals x times x times x. So if we say x squared times x cubed, this would equal x squared is x times x, x times x. This is x squared times x cubed, which is x times x times x. That's x times x times x. We have x to the power 1, x to the power 1, x to the power 1, 5 times. So that will equal x to the power, we can add the powers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. the power 5. And if we divide, let's say x to the power 3 over x to the power 2, this will equal x to the power x times x times x 3 times over x squared is x times x. We can simplify. X over x is 1 and x over x is 1. We're left with 1x here. If you notice that this is opposite to what we did in multiplication. Division, we subtract the powers. So 3 minus 2 is 1. We end up with x to the power 1, which is x. And notice that if we say x to the power 2 over x to the power 3, this would equal x times x, this is x squared, over x to the power 3, which is x times x times x. This one over this one is 1, and this one x over x is 1. We left with 1x, which is on top we have 1, at the bottom we have 1x, 1 over x. But we mentioned earlier that when we divide, we subtract the powers. So we can say it's x to the power 2 minus 3, which is x to the power minus 1. So whenever we have a negative power, we can say it's 1 over whatever we have here and a positive power. So 1 over x is x to the power minus 1. One last thing before we end this video is if we have x to the power 2, let's say here we have 5 times x to the power 2 or x squared plus 3x plus 4x. We can add only the x's with the same power. We can't add the 3 to the 5 because this x here does not equal this x here. This is x squared, but this is x to the power 1. And this is x to the power 1. We can add the 3 and the 4, but we can't add the 5 to them. So the final answer would be 5x squared plus 3 plus 4 is 7x. These are few things which we'll use whenever we go deeper and solve algebraic problems, and see you in the next video.